Hello, and today we'll continue with Pervader. Okay, so we played the part for Alan. Now, I don't know if going forward will things be different if you kept on going. I mean, but I think going once you get to Tender Hall, it stays the same. There's both the citizens in that Tender Hall. So basically, it's just you going with Alan to that place where Aldrich stays at. It's just where you get to spend more time with Alan. I don't think it really changes the story going forward and once we get to Tender Hall. So I might just keep this here just in case there are differences in Tender Hall depending on the choice you make between Alan and Jimsor. So anyway, we already did Alan, so we're gonna pick Jimsor now. And I can't let Jimsor do this alone. That is sensible. You know I can handle myself, yeah? Wait a minute, are you sure about this? Why are you acting as if I'm making a bad decision? If Jimsor is going all the way back south, then he shouldn't have to do it alone. One of us has to go with him. I won't be alone. There's a caravan, remember? They're strangers. You two were strangers just a week ago, and we've been getting along just fine. On to a great start waiting, huh? The bear snickered. It would be a shame if you did not join us. One of my colleagues has a keen interest in magical afflictions like yours. Not a freak. Well then, if everyone is ready, Alan, please follow me. The boy took the first step forwards through the portal, nearly vanishing in the misty white swirl of magic. Alan seemed remorseful, and his lips were searching for something good to say, but nothing came. Are you sure you won't come? I glanced between Jimsor and Alan, but was still unsure. I don't know. What do you think I should do? It's up to you. I'll be fine, Weymouth. I appreciate your concern, but it might be a better idea if you go with Alan so you can figure out this cursed dagger. The way back south is going to be boring, and you won't learn anything from it. Jimsor has a point. Alan approached to pat me on the shoulder. You're a good lad. You want Jimsor to be safe as I do. There's no correct choice other than what feels right to you. He turned and paced towards the portal. Whatever you choose, I trust your judgment. Then he passed through the portal, causing it to swirl again. The doorway remained standing, tempting me with Alan's uncertain frame beyond the threshold. Sorry, Jimsor. Wait a minute. I waited, staring at the opening, feeling almost mesmerized by the dance of light. No, by the indecision is causing this mental fog. Alan was still waiting on the other side. After a while, we both understood I wouldn't change my mind. Stay safe. Look after each other until I get back. We will. I'll close the portal now. Farewell and good luck, my friends. The portal shrunk back into a thin column, eventually vanishing in a trail of glowing mist. Jimsor stepped next to me and patted me on the back. Don't worry, Alan will be back in no time. Let's go. We need to rest up for the road tomorrow. The events of the day have drained me completely. Thankfully, we have until tomorrow morning to get ready for the journey back south. The two of us walked back towards the inn. We may have spoken a few more words to each other, but my mind was lost and unable to stick to anything real. Eventually, I found myself crashing into bed, surrounded by darkness. I was just as a dream. Now is not the time to care for my magic. All I can do now is hope and worry. Morning light shone through the tiny window pane. Waking did not grant me the rest I needed. Even in sleep, I consumed myself with worry. I still have asked where they were. I still have asked where they were going. Oftentimes, I would return to wakefulness on my own before any rude event could bring me back, and this was another one of those occasions. Aware as I was, I nearly jumped at the sound the door opened before I could say anything. He invited himself in, carrying a hot bowl in his left hand and a weak smile on his face, breathing life into my dark room. Good morning. Morning. Wasn't sure if you were okay to wake up yet. He walked over as I stood up. My shoulder ached. Sorry. It's fine. Brought you this. I grabbed the bowl and felt its warmth caress my paws, and the steaming aroma of soup tickled my nostrils. Thank you. Where is the caravan leaving? Thank you. When is the caravan leaving? About an hour. Oh, must I still have woken up earlier. There might not be enough time to speak with the caravan leader. Ella will be upset if we delay. We cannot miss our chance. You still pulled me out of bed earlier and need to go speak with the caravan leader. Relax, I handled things yesterday. We're good to go. Oh, really? Yes, calm down and eat. You need to build up your strength. He went to open the windows as I picked up the bowl again. What did he say? Never mind that. Are you okay? Are you feeling okay? The look of concern on his face caught me off guard. Yes? You're all jittery. Finish off that soup. I'll go grab you a water bucket. Okay, I think my heart is racing a bit. I need to calm down. Ella will be fine. He's safe. We need to be safe. Just will handle things. Good. Good. The most important thing right now is to make sure we get to Tinderhole safely. We have the caravan and we will use their company. Once we're there, Ella will come back. Just eat, Witness. We need to hurry. He returned shortly with a swizzling bucket at his side, laying it down by the door. How are you feeling? I'm fine. Are you sure? No, I'm worried. For what? His dry question nearly made me flinch, but then I saw his face again. He really wants to help. I should have known by now that the way he talks doesn't always show his true feelings. Do I really have to spill it out? Did we have to split up? I wanted to say more, to push the issue, to argue with him, to blame him for forcing this on us. We should wait here and not go traveling south by ourselves. Who knows what might happen on the way? Ella would be relieved to know, though we can't communicate with him yet, not until he's ready to come back. But we can't. Jinso wouldn't agree with it. I don't want to upset him more. Hey, it's okay. Nothing bad is going to happen, alright? Why are you so sure? Ellen's in one of the safest places to be for a Pervader. You and me are gonna travel on guarded roads with honest company. What is there to be afraid of? I don't know. It just feels wrong. He shook his head. Ellen might have called it a dismissive gesture, yet I could see past it and find its hidden concern. Look, we can't stick around, right? Why not? Umbro probably knows we're here. Eventually, they will try to ambush us to try and get that dagger. We don't have it. Ellen took it with him. Yeah, but they don't know that. And you think we'll be safe out there on the road, in the wild, where we know they mess about? Umbro have never attacked these roads. As far as you know. He lowered his glance and the room grew quiet. I shouldn't do this to him. I don't want to be ill-tempered on the way back. I'm sorry, you're right. No, I'm sorry. He sighed and ambled around the room, looking neither here nor there. I know I forced you into this, and I wish I could have done this differently. You didn't force me to do anything. I did. It was my decision to go back south right away. Ella had the better ideas. My fault for not being patient. If I could go back yesterday, I can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing, but for what it's worth, I'm sorry you were stuck in the middle of this. I mean, I'm sorry I put you through this. I stared at him as he looked away. I appreciate it. And I'm not mad at you, by the way. That's good, thanks. He awkwardly welled the back of his neck. Are we good now? Sure. Then there's more I need to tell you. He removed his old sword belt from around his waist and offered it to me. The broken hilt was still in its scabbard. What? You'll need to carry this on our way back. I grabbed the belt and scabbard, taking care to avoid the grip for fear of loosening it from its place. Yesterday I spoke with the caravan leader, a guy called Laszlo. I convinced him to allow you to join as well, though I lied just a bit. What are you saying? I said you're a warrior as well. What? We're both up for hire, alright? I had to sell the story a bit, or else he might not have agreed. I look nothing like a warrior or mercy. It's fine, stand up. I'm sure of myself and rose to my feet. Put that on, yeah? I tried wrapping it around me, though I wasn't sure how to fasten it, and the weight of the sword made my movements clumsy. He grabbed the front of it and helped me to tighten it. His fingers pulled in between the belt and my waist as he strung the loose end around in a couple of knots. I felt a bit embarrassed, as if my mother was helping me to dress up, though. All right. He stepped away and looked at me. That works. This is silly. Don't say that. You need to play the part. I'm not a fighter, Jim, so I don't want to swing a weapon around, and it's broken anyway. You're not going to swing a weapon around. Nobody's pulling out their weapons on this trip, all right? Just keep that belt on you so people can see it. That's all you have to do. What if they ask me about it? We're not there to chit-chat or make friends. If someone starts asking for your life story, tell them to serve it. Well, maybe not that rudely, but you get the idea. I'm not so sure about this. A little while later, after finishing off my breakfast and getting used to the new weight around my waist, we were off to meet with the caravan. Jennifer introduced me to Laszlo, though he waved us off after a couple of thoughtless pleasantries. The merchant was busy dealing with the last bits of his inventory. I'd never been more thankful to be so disregarded, and off we went. The caravan was a few odd wagons pulled by Vawi, joined by a procession of about 24 men, most of whom also had weapons at their hips. I felt very out of place among this band of merchants and mercenaries. The thing around my waist pulls me to the side and unbalances me, and I'm constantly in fear of the hilt slipping out and revealing its broken shape. I move to adjust it, trying to push it back. Don't do that. It's supposed to sit at your side. I feel like it's going to fall down at any moment. And whoa, hey, do you want me to carry that backpack for a while? No, it's fine. The trail was as popular as Jim Shore had said. We had passed several other caravans going the other way by the time we reached our first village. Good weather and calm winds made for an easy first leg of the journey, though I was still bothered. Trying to keep up this charade made me feel sick. Should we get ambushed by bandits or even by Umbro, or attacked by wild beasts, I would not be able to defend anyone. Here I am, exploiting these people's goodwill, yet if the moment arises, I would not be able to defend us. I shouldn't be here. Jimsor taught me a few moves, though not with a weapon, not that I even have one. Could I use magic, I wonder? That spell I cast last time was dangerous. Who am I kidding? I can't do something like that. Who knows if that can kill? Mercy, what if someone tries to kill me? What will I do? Could I ever go ahead and end someone's life? Calm down, Raymond. You're thinking crazy things. The roads are safe. They must be, else there wouldn't be so many people going north and south. Sometime past noon, we arrived into a shaded grove, and it was decided we would take a break to rest and eat. Everyone went away into their own little circles, mostly in pairs, to attend to their own needs. Jimsor and I kept an even distance from the others. He pulled out his piece of flint and made a small fire for our lunch. Soon after, we were interrupted by one of our companions. Excuse me, mind if I use your fire? Zimstar and I glanced at each other for a brief moment, though we both knew not to linger on the gesture. Go ahead. Much appreciated, my brother. The tall red wolf carried a small sack in his right hand. He knelt at my side, removed its contents, a couple of carrots and onions. He reached back and removed a thin stiletto dagger from behind, skewering his vegetables onto it and holding it over the flame. I seemed to have lost my flint back in the road. I'm deeply sorry. Forgot to introduce myself. My name is Everwind. Nice to meet you. I'm Ramus. Jim. What are you blokes out here for, if you don't mind me asking? Just looking to head back south. Caravan's a good way to go. Aye, it is. The roads are safe these days, but it's always better to travel in groups, I say. Though I seldom take my own advice, Crossed Peladine on my lonesome a few years back. What fool that was. Figured it would be nice to have some company this time around. You ain't from the road either, are you? What makes you say that? He looked at me with enlightened glee. Aha! Well, I can tell by your accent that you were born and raised in Ordering, am I right? I'm not sure how wise it is to be too friendly right now, but he seems nice enough. True. And your friend? The common tongue is all too common. Hard to make sense of people's voices when they're so close to the mold, yet there are many gems in Penguin, and I reckoned there was a hint of Earthwing speaking there. Am I close? Jim saw flash a weak smile, though I read through it his mounting annoyance. Close enough. The wolf suppressed a chuckle while he turned his food into flame. Sweet onion flavors filled the air and wafted between us as the fire continued to crackle. So I hogging the flame? That's fine, finish your cooking. I'd be pleased to share my meal with you if you like. We have our own food. Jim's flat tone was hard to mistake. The wolf seemed to finally get the hint. A short while later, our uninvited guest picked up his skewer and stood up. Thanks, be seeing you. Once he was several paces away, Jim saw aside. Sure hope not. He wasn't too bad. We're not here to make friends, remember? Still, I felt bad. Nothing about him seemed too suspicious. Never received kindness with derision. I'm sorry, strange fun. A while later, I had heated up our meals and we munched down on them quickly, soon after we were back on the road again. I kept an eye out for everyone from then on out. He walked ahead of us, along behind the last wagon. The road led us past another couple of villages. Every once in a while, we saw guards on the horizon, their metal twinkling with sunlight to signal their appearance. Silver and armor always shines like a star. Even though I knew they couldn't be watchmen, whenever they approached, my heart would start beating faster. The Inquisition doesn't have any sway in these parts, I must remember that, and I must use it to calm myself. Though their glares are always suspicious, watchmen or not, I take the tiniest amount of comfort in knowing they stare at each of us equally. The evening goes on until the sun begins its darkening decline, and Laszlo decides it is time to stop. He calls arrest the convoy. We will take shelter here tonight. The ones in front and the ones in Laszlo's primary employee guided us all to the side of the road by a small creek between the wood. Tools and tarps were moved from a small crate at the back of a wagon, and to my surprise they were freely available to anyone who wanted to set up their own shelter. We have our own tent. Those are much bigger, though. He scratched his chin to think, but eventually he shook his head. No, we can't. Best to keep to ourselves. Besides, a bigger tent is harder to keep warm. Theirs have thicker seats, too. Oh well. Zunzo is always too cautious, yet I am too tired to argue the point. So be it. I put out the large tarp that Alan and I had shared the nights before. He looked at me funny. Where's mine? We can't use the big one together. We can't use the big one together. He tilted his head upwards in sudden awareness and nodded. Right. Easy to keep it warm when there's two of us, eh? Right. Within a few minutes, everything was set up. Zimsor and I agreed to go help the others with their own tents. Withholding such a gesture would make us seem too strange and unkind. Zimsor made sure to nudge me somewhere else if everyone turned up. He was sharing a tent with someone else. Thankfully, night watch duties were sorted amongst Laszlo's most trusted companions. I need a good bit of rest. It's a pretty night tonight, with a full moon beaming down on us like a lesser god watching over its sleeping subjects. Zimsor was getting ready to lay down and end the day. Lately, he's been acting a bit more concerned for me with the way he looked and stared. My mood caught his attention again. You alright? I'm really tired. Don't sleep. We've still got a couple of days until we can branch out to Tenderhall. I can't yet. Still worried? I think so. I feel it's like I have a knot in my stomach. Ramus, Alan's fine. Look. He pulled out the glassy pre-opt that Eldred had given him. You hold on to this, alright? Don't break it, of course. Just keep it safe. Thanks. I took it from him and strung it around my neck, feeling some of Zimsor's imbued warmth on my fingers as I held it. Does that help? What do you mean? That thing is like a ticket to getting Alan back, right? He's still out there, helping us from afar, probably working on that dagger as we speak. If there's ever a dire moment, you can break that thing and he'll come back. Alan's right here, right there in your palm. You don't have to worry. I stared at the glassy thing and saw the haunting green gem within it. You're right, he's here. I can almost feel it, in a way. Although we're who knows how many miles away from each other, with this thing I can be near him. Thank you. Feel it better now? Can we sleep? You go ahead. I still need a few moments to clear my head. Don't go jumping into any more of those delusions of yours, alright? Wouldn't dream of it. He crawled under the seat as I stood up and walked away, past the campfire towards one of the sleeping Voorhees. I sat down on the ground against the wagon's wheels and looked at the beast. His nostrils flared gently, and I was just close enough to feel its soothing breath tickle the fur on my forearm. It was a good sleep as well as that. It would be nice to pet it, but I don't want to wake it up. Almost everyone was under their own tents by now. Everything was quiet and still, save for the cricket's song and the occasional hoot. Although my body and my mind were worn out, there was yet another part of me that wanted to stay up and delay respite, and I'm not trouble enough. Am I not trouble enough? Why do I need this? Or instinct to go to rub the period again? I thought enough about Alan and Zimsor has helped me deal with our separation. I can't brood on this anymore. I don't feel like doing it either. Then what is bothering me so much? Maybe I'm just sick of all this subterfuge and tricking. We're playing cat and mouse all over everything, both with Umbro and with the Watts, from one den of wolves to another den of lions. Why does everything have to be so complicated? I feel my heart beating again, and I become aware of the tendrils that mark my body. Haven't chat on them in a few days. It was nice to forget for a while, but I always come back to it. Frustrated, I pinch my belly over where I think one of the blue veins lies. This is your fault. I should learn more about Nagantas so I can spread on their legacy for this curse that maims me. Wonder if Alan would be upset if he heard me say that. I wish I could take a day off from all of this, just one day, not have to worry about death and suffering and all this Inquisition nonsense. My mind begins to weigh heavily. At last, I'm tired enough now. It's getting a bit chilly here. Should warm up a bit before bed. I stand up slowly, making sure not to disturb the sleeping beast next to me. Then I walk along the wagon's left to get to the flame. As I turn the corner, I see him standing there, leaning back against the wagon. He seemed lost in his own thoughts until he saw me. Oh, good evening. Hi. I feel myself being pulled in opposing directions once more. Everyone seems like a decent fellow, and it would be nice to have a normal chat with someone else for a while. I'm desperate for it. Jimso would be cross with me, though. Is it worth it? I sit on the log across from the wagon and bask in the fire's warmth, still thinking whether or not I should talk to the guy. It would be too awkward not to say anything, though. Can't sleep? Almost there, but I wanted to warm up first. He nodded, then he pushed himself away from the wagon, pacing forwards until it knelt across from me, bringing his gloved hands forward to catch the heat. For a while, both of us sat in silence, enjoying the comforting warmth and listening to the crackling flames. It felt so nice to share this tiny moment of respite with someone else, someone so detached from my problems. Jimso shouldn't have given you the cold shoulder like that. Sorry about earlier. Oh? My friend feels a bit thorny sometimes, but he's a nice guy. It's fine. How long have you known each other? A couple of weeks now. He's a long way from home and where he wants to be. I guess I am as well. Everyone sat on his rear and crossed his legs, bringing the edges of his cloak forward in a nasty gesture. His kind eyes were glued to me, and his thoughts were hanging on to my every word. Much the same, brother. I'm from far down south, on the misty coast. Couldn't get much further than that in these kingdoms. Winter's drawing near, and I've grown sick of the North's cold. Tender souls are not meant for these harsh lands. How far north have you gone? I've been to Ice Keep and beyond to the Swords, those tiny islands that led to Boreas. Even walked over Summer's Gap last year when the sea was frozen. Saw Noah Anklay Archbreaker with my own eyes, a marvelous thing to witness. Why go there if you don't like the cold? It's a long story. Tell me yours instead. Mine's pretty long, too. Mostly that's an impasse. He chuckled. Let me try to guess. It has something to do with magic, doesn't it? He is a very intuitive guy. Not so I really want to tell him. I'd rather not say. I'm sorry. His eyes were worried, though. You don't have to worry. I don't mean to make you uncomfortable. The thing is, I know what you are. The shift in the conversation suddenly caused me to lean back. I felt the rust down my spine. We're supposed to stay hidden. I'm supposed to be a mercenary. But you don't need to be afraid. I'm on your side. Sorry, I know you're a Pervader. For a moment my heart sank. What does that mean? How could he know? What would he say? Why would he say that? Pervaders aren't shunned around here, I don't think, though we didn't make ourselves known either. Part of my mask is slipping now. I shouldn't have spoken with him. It's fine, look. I'm a Pervader too, alright? He removed his left glove, and showed me the sigil on the back of his hand and wrist. It was the feather symbol. You've got one of these signs as well, right? Stop. You're speaking too loudly. I know you must be very confused right now, but I promise you everything is fine. I'm a friend. You don't have to be afraid anymore. You don't know me. I've been like you. Every Pervader struggles to make sense of it at first. It's scary in the beginning, but it's okay. I can help you. You're way to others. Nobody can hear us right now. With every word he spoke, I felt more and more ill at ease. He obviously has the wrong idea about me, and I'm not sure how to stop this. I'll use magic to silence the two of us. Our words can only be heard by each other. We can talk freely. Suddenly, he whistled loudly, then he started to yell. Everyone, wake up. If you hear me, wake up. Wake up. Why is the sign? It was loud in my ears, but looking around, I saw it was true. Not an inch of movement among any of the tents. I even heard the night sentry give any unconcerned sniffle somewhere on the other side of the wagon. See, we can talk freely. What do you want? I want to help you. I don't need your help. Why are you going south? That's none of your business. You can trust me. Stay away from me and from Jim. This guy is crazy. I can't believe I was so stupid. It's not safe, Ramus. I gave him a hard stare, scurrying away to our tent. My heart was beating faster. What do we do now? 3 more days with this guy in our company? Will this be okay? I gave him a hard stare and scurried away to our tent. My heart was beating fast. What do we do now? 3 more days with this guy in our company? Will this be okay? I don't think he's reckless enough to make a scene in front of the others, though I'm not sure if we can risk it. Listen, we shouldn't have done this. We shouldn't have done things this way. As I crawled under my tent, I looked back at and see a defeated everyone turn back and retreat to his own tent. Was he stalking me earlier? How did he know I was a Pervader? Hey, Weymouth, what? I was almost asleep. Everyone talked to me. We might have a problem. He stood up and listened. Somehow he knows I'm a Pervader. The animal what? How? I don't know, but I don't think he knows you have a circle too. I think he would have said so otherwise. What does he want? He said he's a friend, but he seems unhinged. I'm not sure what to think. He asked why we were heading south. I told you not to talk to him. And you were right. He sighed and leaned back on his bedroll. Are we okay for the night? I think so. Might be okay for the rest of the trip too. Don't say that. We'll look into it tomorrow. No more risks from now on. Okay? This is exactly why we need to be careful. What do you want to do? I don't know yet. We'll see. I put away the belt and the sword Jim Sword had given me, then landed into bed. It was dark, though we were facing each other as we were lying there together. I could spot the glint in his eyes when he looked at me. You alright? Sorry, I keep asking. Is that annoying? No, I appreciate it. Eventually we drifted off to sleep. I might have dreamed something, though I did not force myself to remember. All my focus went into rest. Come morning, I did feel much better. Jim Shaw had rolled over closer to me throughout the night. He was resting on his arm, with his elbow poking into my chest. His slumbering face was so peaceable it reminded me of his father and all the things he did, and how much he wanted to see him safe. I need to look after him, as he does after me. I need to be stronger. Tiny walls of breath escaped his nostrils and warmed my arm. I lay there for quite a while longer, lost in the dimness, a morning rousing, sober, enchanted by his gentle slumber. I do not wish to wake him yet. Slowly the events of the day before came to mind. Apprehension returned. Jim Saw still pushed his elbow harder against me as he awakened. He yawned and pulled back, seemingly unaware of how close he had been. The rest of the morning was uneventful. Once the sky turned bright, we were off once more. All throughout the day, everyone kept giving me concerned glances. Jim Saw glared back at him each time. He kept his distance, walking ahead of us. I'm sure no one wants to steer any trouble, especially while out on the road. At least I hope that would be the case. The caravan stopped around noon when we encountered another convoy going north. While the heads of each group exchanged their trade secrets, everyone kept looking for opportunities to meet with me. Yeah, I would not leave Jim to our side. Yeah, I made a point of it that we would never be alone again. I don't like those looks he's giving us. Listen, we're sticking together permanently until we get to Tinderhall. If that creep knows what's best of him, he'll stay away for good. Do you think he'll try something? Should we tell Laszlo? It's too late for that, but we'll be fine. Barry points over the next couple of hills, I think. It's a trading post so we can make a change of plans there. To do what? I don't know yet. Maybe ditch this caravan for something else. We'll see. My thoughts returned to Alan and the exchange trinket Aldrin had given us. I tugged the string and rubbed it between my fingers again, showing it to Jimsaw. Should we call Alan back? His face was uncertain, yet bold at the same time. We shouldn't, not yet. Despite the shakiness of his attempt at confidence, it still gave me hope. It didn't last long, however. As the first pointed roof of the trading post appeared above the hill, everyone reduced his pace. Soon we would step in line. Jimsaw grabbed my shoulder and we also slowed down. Let them move ahead. You're not going to do anything, are you? Hopefully we don't need to do anything. There was only one other companion behind us, and as we let him pass ahead, he glanced suspiciously between everyone and us. Other looks were thrown our way, but none were concerned enough to hold their attention. For all they know, we just wanted to have a chat. Hopefully that and nothing more would happen. Everyone moved at a snail's pace until we were forced to reach up to him. Now we were in lockstep, and I was walking between them, and we were far enough away that none could hear. Wait, miss, I need to talk to you. Jimsaw grabbed my arm and tugged on it, pulling me towards him. He put himself in the middle. I wanted to resist it, even though I feel like protecting him. If push comes to shove, he's the only one who can do anything. Everyone has a sword too, yet he is also a Pervader. If he steals Jimsaw, that's no good for him. At least I hope so. You don't need anything. Ramus, I need to talk to you alone, please. Suddenly, Jimsaw stopped. His arm reached back to push me away as he scowled at the red wolf. He pulled him in the chest. Jim, listen here, brother. Ramus is not your friend. Sever, shut your mouth. Move on and stay away from us. You know nothing about me and Ramus, and everything you think you know is wrong. You're only causing trouble for everyone in this caravan. Do you want to bring this to Laszlo? No. Then mind your own business and leave us alone. If you come close to Ramus ever again, I'll have my sword out. Understand? Everyone stared back, his face full of irritation, though he did not resort to any violence. The red wolf stomped away, his cape swiftly in front of us. Our spirits were rattled as we made our way into the outpost. Everyone's glares did not stop, and neither did Jimsaw's heightened tension. Laszlo told us that the caravan would stay here for the rest of the day, and that we would continue tomorrow. Our companions started setting up their tents once more in a small field behind the main hall, but Jimsaw and I decided to sneak away while everyone was busy. I went across to the other side into an open place, away from any and all strangers, where we were sure not to be heard. I do not think that bastard is going to leave us alone. Which way are we going tomorrow? South, that way. But we're not sticking with this caravan anymore. Not with that weirdo on our trails. Then that way goes east. What's down that road? It's another way to Tender Hall. Longer though. Is it safe? I think so, but we're getting closer to Umbro territory. I wouldn't go anywhere without larger company. So we need another caravan. Yeah, abandoned pilgrims or something else like that could be good too. I'm not seeing any other wagons here. Plenty of merchants come through. We'll have to wait a bit. Though I'm guessing anyone else that arrives today will rest here until tomorrow. Look, there's an inn. We should stay there until tomorrow. Of course, you don't want to go back to that camp, do you? I don't want to see that guy ever again. He nodded confidently. By tomorrow, we might have a few new friends to lead us to Tender Hall. Yeah, I agree. Great. Do we have all our stuff? Yes. Then let's get a room. The two of us went inside the inn and settled our lodging. The innkeep told us that several caravans have already passed through Berry Point and that several more should arrive by the end of the day. And by tomorrow we should have a few different options. Ditching everyone might be more complicated though. We spent the rest of the day in that room, hiding from our stalker. Neither of us were sure how committed he was to harassing us. Hopefully he'll forget about it and leave us behind. It was night, and there were several new merchants drinking in the tavern on the floor below us. I'll go downstairs to check things out, staying here, and don't open the door for anyone until I come back. Alright, good luck. He stares back at me, only for a moment, before cracking the door open and slipping away. I post the latch and make sure it's tightly closed. Then I step away and lean on the bed. Mercy, what a trip this has been. Not only do we have to deal with Umbro and the Watts, but now we have crazies after us as well, and he's a Pervader, no less. How did I keep getting into these situations? Still, I really wonder what the hell was on everyone's mind. I get the feeling that he thought I was lost, or did not know about Pervader magic, but I am not that lost, not anymore. My problems are so much deeper than what he suspects. Why would he think he knows enough to come up to me like that? Suddenly I hear a clicking sound. I glance at the door and see the latch move. It is opening by itself. Before I can get up on my feet, the intruder barges in. Jim, he's here. Calm down, Weymouth. I'm not here to hurt you. Jim, nobody can hear us. Please, you need to calm down. What the hell do you want? If you just listen to me for one moment, I'm trying to help you. Leave me alone. You're in danger, right? His hand moves under his cape, and I fear he might draw his sword yet. All he does is produce a piece of parchment. Look, he takes a couple of steps forward, not enough to be near me, but enough to invite me to get closer. And I did need to get closer, and I saw. That's you, isn't it? That's your name, Weymouth. What the hell? I could only glance at it before my mind rolled back again. Bounty, escaped, Weymouth, Allen, 100 bullets. There were two crude drawings in the shape of myself and the old bear. Below each picture was a description of our clothes and circles. They are waiting after us. Mercy. As I glance back up, I see the red wolf and that easy to mistake kindness of his. The door moves again. Before I see him emerge from behind, I hear the sword come loose from its leather. I told you to stay away. Wait. Everyone leapt away from Jimsaw. He brandished his own sword, and taking the space at the other end of the room, he was at the ready, yet restrained, with practiced eyes snagged onto every possible movement. I did not know anything about fighting, yet I could tell from his graceful movements that he was more than a match for Jimsaw. Jim is fine. He's here to warn us. Drop that sword, brother. Not likely, brother. Everyone brought his free hand forwards, whispering under his spell and flicking his fingers. I recognized the attempts at a spell. I could tell he did it twice, even though I wasn't sure what kind of magic he tried. I knew it. You're a Wattsman. Now you get it. Your tricks won't work on me, Pervader. Drop your weapon and leave. Do it now, before I change my mind. Hardly. I'm not letting you get away with this. Everyone, what are you talking about? He's trying to lead you south, so he can claim the bounty. Mercy, is that what he thinks? No, everyone, that's not it at all. Then what is it? Why is he taking you south? Aren't you afraid of what he might do? I'll do a lot if you don't drop your weapon. Last chance. Calm down, both of you. Mercy. A step between them. This is all a big misunderstanding. You mean to tell me you knew about the bounty? I didn't, but that's not why we're going south. What are you two talking about? I turned to Jimsaw and showed him the paper. He studied it with a few glances, though he made sure not to lower his guard. Damnable hell, am I on there? Doesn't look like it. The other one is a bear, says. Jigsaw and I glance at each other, not sure what to do from here on out. This stranger thought he was saving me from some kind of ransom, yet he didn't have half of the story right. At least his heart is in the right place, or is this a trick? Maybe he wants a bounty, but why will he show it to us? Why are you heading south? We're headed to Tenderhall. Raymond, don't tell him that. We're long past hot of this thing, Jim. Everyone's eyes narrowed. Why are you headed there? I told you before, it's a long story. Then give me the short of it. You owe me that much. We don't owe you anything. The nerve. Why don't you just shove off like I told you before? I'm not satisfied with your story. Tell me, why are you going to Tenderhome? Something in his eyes changed. Before he seemed desperate and concerned. Now his gaze carries suspicion and ire, and his short hand is steadier. What could get him so worked out? This should have calmed things down. I hesitated to speak. He recognized my apprehension and only made him more resolute. I'll ask again, but he didn't ask the same question. Why are you going to Umbro? I heard Jigsaw scoff and flits behind me, and I wondered if I betrayed the same information. He could read us easily. He knows we are involved with Umbro. This is none of your business, Pervader. I don't like your tone, brother. Let Raymond speak for you. He's smarter. Jigsaw is a Pervader too. That caught him off guard. His chin darted up and to the side as he chewed on the thought. I think he realizes what I said is true. It makes some sense to him, but there are still things that he does not understand. Who are you, everyone? How do you know Umbro? They have a dagger that we're looking for. Why do you need their dagger? To cure our wounds. Umbro's always trying that. He glanced between Jigsaw and I, looking at and through us. His silence lingered for a while. He is very uncertain, and he is thinking. Can you let us go now? Soon. I need to know one more thing. Answer carefully. Based on your answer, I will leave here satisfied, or none of us will leave satisfied. Do you understand? Don't you dare try anything, you bastard. I felt a lump in my throat. The air was dry and coarse. Are you with or against Umbro? His tone was precisely even, practiced and unnatural, as if a disembodied voice carried a question. My eyes want to move from side to side, following the patterns of my thoughts, but I have to stay focused, keep his attention. Think before you speak, Ramus. This man is still a mystery to me, but I have to think he's not their friend either. If Umbro sent him here, he would not play these games with us, nor would he have a reason to do these things otherwise. His eyes kept searching through mine, and eventually he came to the truth. His short arm lowered, and he moved the blade back in the scabbard. Then we were friends. His kind smile returned to his face. I felt like I could finally breathe again. I turned to Jigsaw and urged him to put away his weapon. He seemed reluctant and peeved, yet he gave in. I take it you're not a friend of theirs either? Not anymore. I've been running away from them for the past few years. What did you do to piss them off? I was one of them, and I've had my fill of their madness. Jigsaw sharpened his glare. I understood his thoughts as we looked at each other. Both of us knew that Umbro might try to ambush us on the way back in hopes of getting that dagger, and everyone could be their strange attempt at that. But Gilbert wouldn't go to these lengths to try to trick us. If he really wanted it, he'd just come and take it. So maybe they know we don't have it anymore. Maybe they're trying to find out where Alan took it. I guess it's better than Aldrich did not tell us where they were going. Still, I feel like everyone is honest. He's much too strange to be a spy. You got questions. I got questions. Baby talk. Now you're polite. I tried being courteous, but you were too edgy when we first met. Can't blame me for thinking the worst. Maybe you shouldn't stick your nose in other people's business. Strange words coming from an inquisitor. He chuckled. Apologies, if you truly are friends, then I made a mistake in coming here. Say the word and I'll leave. Never to bother you again. Don't. I want to know more about Umbro. Of course, ask away. Suso scolded me with a glance, yet he allowed us to continue. Why were you with them? I'm a curious fellow. Love to learn to see new things, meet new people. That's why I came north. A little over a year ago, I met a couple of Umbro blokes in a sanctuary up north near the border. They had come to preach their cause and find like-minded individuals to recruit. Said they were moving around a lot across Orthane, trying to build faith with Pervaders in every corner of the country. I decided to join them for a while. Months went by and, well, bottom line, I had become one of them. It made sense fighting for a good cause and all that. The soul can do with a little bit of goodly honor from time to time. Simpson scoffed. Though I knew I wouldn't stick around for much longer. Why not? 2 reasons. I'm a dyed-in-the-wool vagrant. My roots were cut many, many years ago. I do not keep friends or causes, though I cherish my time with them. The other reason is I'm afraid of what Umbro might do once Gimmerboard decides it is time to act. We're all afraid. That's why they have to be stopped. I don't understand. What is Umbro planning? Nobody has a straight answer to that question, not even Gimmerboard, yet I fear it will end in bloodshed. Then how did he manage to convince everyone to follow him? The Pervaders of the North have long been wary of the Inquisition in its attempts to push farther and farther into their land. Many believe if things continue on like this, or they will eventually become under the domain. If Boestius and the domain ever end up selling a border, well, that's just fear mongering. The Inquisition doesn't invade or conquer. If we are present, it is because the people want us there. What about Heron? What about him? He said that the Inquisition bribes and sends spies to try and gain more influence in the north. What we're trying to do is fight Umbro. It has nothing to do with Orthe or Boestius. I'm not so sure about that. He read my thoughts through my silence. Look, if even everyone, one of their own, can admit that Umbro needs to be taken down, what more do you need to be convinced? That's not what I said. I don't want to get hung up on that right now, everyone. Do you know anything about the Nagati deckers they've been collecting? It started a couple months after I joined up. Gimmerborg sent word to every Umbro cell in the country to search for a certain kind of Nagati blade and to obtain them by any means. My group found a couple of them too, one in the ruin to the east and one off of a collector in the road. It was never made clear what they would be used for, though we were warned not to cut ourselves on the edge. Are they weapons? They're dull blades. The enchantment is lethal, but not something I would ever want to use in a fight. Why are you so curious about them? Jimsor and I both suffer from the curse. I see. I'm sorry. If you want my advice, I'd say join them. Gimmerborg may be ruthless, but he truly wants to find a way to break the curse, even though he himself has inflicted it on others. What do you mean? Why has he been using the daggers? He believes they're needed to save everyone from whatever is going to happen, though his visions don't offer any clear answers. If he can figure out a way to remove the curse, then he'll have more room to play with whatever power lies hidden within. To that end, he's been inflicted the marks on his followers to experiment with it. That doesn't sound very hopeful. Not to you or me, but they believe in their leader. and Gimmelborg has seen a solution in what he's doing, that perhaps there is a method to his madness. At first, when I found out what was going on, I was not sure what to think. After I learned that a few people had died from it already, I became furious. That was a few days ago. I left without warning. On my way out, I shattered those daggers we had collected, not going to be part of this deathly game. Did you know about the one in Irons Road? Yes, at the Hindle House, right? We were looking to pilfer in we were looking to pilfer it a couple of weeks ago, but the place was locked down too tightly. Never went along with it. Is that why you came to the road? Yes, it's the only one we could find. So what happened at the auction? Our friend of ours managed to obtain it, and now they're looking into it. You're not with them? No, we'll meet in Tenderhole in a few days. That's where we're heading right now. Looking to join Umbro? Not exactly. Do I look like someone who wants to join Umbro? I guess the dagger we got from the auction had weak enchantment. It may not be useful. We're hoping to figure out a way to get one from Umbro if that one doesn't work. You wouldn't happen to know where we can get another one? Nope, sorry. Any ideas where Umbro's hiding out? They have a large hideout somewhere near Tenderhole, but I don't have the location. Never been in that area before. All I know is that's where they do most of their organizing. Gimmelborg is probably there as well. But what exactly are you planning to do when you get there? You're not going to try and steal one, are you? We'll do what needs to be done. Oh boy, you're mad. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. It's fine. You don't need to worry about us. I won't. This isn't my fight, and I don't care to meddle in it any further. That didn't stop you from meddling with us. Yours was a smaller affair. Both the Inquisition and Umbro are animated by greater forces that are too arcane to comprehend as an individual. Do you mean to say you believe in grand conspiracies? I believe you shouldn't bite more than you can chew. Anyway, this was fun. I'm happy that we didn't have to come to blows. After hearing him speak, I was convinced everyone would not be an issue any longer. Then again, I was too eager to be friendly with him in the beginning. Would it be wrong to shun him again? Zimsor still seems to be on edge, though he's always prickly when we're around strangers, especially around pervaders like this one. So what now? Tomorrow the caravan will continue south. The plan was to leave it behind so we could ditch everyone. Now, though, I'll let you two rest. If you've got more questions, I'll be happy to answer them tomorrow. I think we can all do with a little bit of sleep. Everyone pulled at his cloak as he turned around and walked towards the door. He set the tight on the way out. As his steps echoed on the floorboards outside, the latch fell back into place as it was before he barged in. We looked at each other, studying our faces for a while. What do you think? He sighed and looked away, grabbing his belt so that he could remove it. I don't even know anymore. It's too much. Do you think we can trust him? The guy is stranger than strange. He could tell us more about Umbro. Yeah, Zimsor didn't seem like he wanted to talk about it, so I stopped bothering him. The room was a little bit more chilly than it was before, yet both of us felt comfortable to undress. Everyone's words rolled in my mind even as I lay down in bed. Zimsor blew out the candle, and I allowed myself to sink into the darkness. Will I dream tonight? I flirted with the idea for a few moments, but ultimately decided against it. For now, I have enough to worry about. Alan. The next day, Jim and I ate breakfast in our room, so that we may talk privately. He seemed as tired as before. Did you sleep all right? Yeah, that's not what's bothering you. As was his habit, he had prepared a cup of ether wine, tea to douse his watchman's plate, and was drinking it slowly. Did you see everyone this morning? He's still with the caravan. So what do we do now? Again, he did not answer. Our plan was to find another group to take us to the hall so that we could avoid everyone. The situation had changed now that everyone is no longer a threat. I like to say with the caravan, I'd like to stay with the caravan and learn more from our new friend. And I think Jim knows that's where my head is at, and that's what's bothering him. Why wouldn't he just say it, though? The caravan should be leaving soon. Are we staying with them, or do we try to find another group? Why do I have to decide? We decide together, don't we? No, we don't. I decided to go to Tender Hall, and you decided to come along. This is mine. Forget it. What's bothering you? Doesn't matter. Come on, Jim, talk to me. Why do you even care so much? I care about you. But why? You shouldn't have come with me. It wasn't supposed to be like this. What do you mean? Umbral is too dangerous for you to be meddling in their affairs. It's not safe. Then why are we heading there? I'm heading there. This is my concern, not yours. I don't want my choices to put you or anyone else in danger. Why are you telling me this now? I didn't want to think about it. What if everyone turned out worse? What if he ended up killing you last night? I could look after myself. You say that. You're not there yet. It was a soft way of telling me I'm weak, but he's right. The tricks I now know will not be enough to protect me if I ever get in a really bad situation. I get it. You're right. I'm sorry if I'm a burden to you. He wanted to try and ease the offense, yet I wouldn't let him talk until I was finished. But I wasn't about to let you do this all by yourself. Even if you know how to look after yourself, you need someone else to have your back. If I had gone with Alan, I'd be worried sick about you. I don't care how good you are as a fighter. If anything ever happened to you, I couldn't. He's so oblivious to how I'm feeling, or is he? Mercy, why do you have to be so stubborn sometimes? You don't have to do all this on your own. When I look at you, I see your father and how much he loves you. How could you ever let yourself be so reckless when someone cares about you so much? You're so easy to care about. It was hard to say these things out loud when I'm never quite sure where Jim's head's at and what he thinks about me. We need to focus regardless whether or not it was right to come with him. We have our mission. Jim, we need to get to Tender Hall. I know. It's fine. We can stay with the caravan. That's what you're worried about, right? If you don't want to be around everyone, I can understand that. He took another sip of his tea while he thought about it. I'm not sure. I don't think I want him around, but he can be useful. Do you believe he was honest? I think so, yeah. He's a bit strange. He's a bit too strange to be anything other than what he told us. I'm trying really hard not to let my feelings get the better of me. If he can tell us more, then we should stay with him. After we finished our meals, we returned to the caravan. Laszlo has remarked that we were not with the rest of the camp that night, but he didn't make much of a fuss over it. Everyone joined us as we rode out once more, this time towards a small town a few miles south again. The caravan would not pass through Tender Hall, unfortunately. Jimsor had looked over the route before we left Ains Road and planned for us to branch off when we got near the river. It would take us another few hours to get there, which we were on our own. For a while, the three of us walked in silence, as we were still getting used to our less dishonest selves. Beyond that, we were also trying to keep up appearances, lest I would forget I was supposed to be a guard as well. The weather had turned gloomy from the moment we set out, and the clouds seemed determined to hide the sun for as long as it could. Every once in a while, it would drizzle, threatening heavy rain, but the storm never came. Midway through the trip, we moved off the road to take a break to eat and relieve the strain off our feet. Everyone came out with more roasted vegetables. This time we all shared our food, and even Jim seemed eager to partake. Since the caravan is heading for Tender Hall, when were you two traveling on Splitter off? There's a point up ahead where the road forks. One way leads south across the river, the other leads east alongside it to Tender Hall. Are you sure the road is safe? As safe as we can be in this neck of the woods. If we follow the river and try to stay close to the fishing villages, you should get there in one piece. Good. Uncle tries to avoid stalking again, since there are a lot of eyes going up and down the river. What about you? Me? I'm heading back home south. Long way to go till I get there. Where's this caravan stopping anyway? It's looping around skies. The road in the next couple of towns unless Laszlo's made some changes. You've been with this group before? No, Laszlo's one of many traders who take this route. If you travel a lot, you tend to learn what the most popular roads are and who is the safest company to keep. That's why I chose this lot. Are you going to pass through Pendragon? Yes, when I left home, I traveled across Yakana on my way north. This time, I want to plan on stopping by in a few places in the heartland if everything goes smoothly. Been wanting to see Mount Sa since I was a kid. Mount Sa is holy ground. Off limits. The Watts will put you in jail if you try to climb it. I'll try my luck. Either way, just seeing it from afar will be enough for me. I wish I could have traveled the world like you. Aren't you doing that right now? Me? No, I don't think so. We're only going where we need to go. You seem more Paladine than most other people. Maybe we've been to Chariot and Aeon's Road and a few other places. That's not enough to say you're well traveled. Every journey starts with one step. Now you're heading for Tinderhall, so you can add it to your list of destinations. Great. Does your journey end there? Hopefully. Once we finish our meals, we all lounged around each other. To pass the time, everyone sold off a few of the things he had gathered on his travels. He pulled out a tiny crystalline jewel in the shape of a star, though he made sure to conceal it under his cloak so that nobody else could see it. 3 of its tips were colored in red, blue, and green. You ever seen a Naganti Ray star before? No. What does it do? The star levitated an inch above his finger, spinning gently in place. They used to make these to show the way. If you wait a moment for it to settle, it'll show north. Sure enough, after a while, it stopped spinning. From what I could tell, the red tip leaned in the correct direction. Fascinating. Where did he get it? I found it in one of the ruins we explored a few months back. Best part about joining up with Umbro at the time. He sold off a few other trinkets. Seeing all these things reminded me of Alan's antiquarium. I wonder how many of these things Alan collected were enchanted like this. As I leaned to the side to rest on my arm, my hand brushed against the hilt of my sword, nearly knocking it out of its scabbard. Darn thing, now that it's only half of what it used to be, it's so light. Everyone noticed my fumbling with the sword's grip. He gave an inquisitive nod towards it. Do you know how to swing that thing? Well, not really. This is a broken blade. I'm just wearing it to fit in with the caravan, Jim's idea. He nodded again. As long as you keep it in its leather, people won't know the difference. You don't mind me saying, Ramus, when I first saw you, I definitely got the impression that you didn't know what you were doing. Just the way you keep adjusting your belt and pulling it up, it's obvious you're not used to wearing it. You always skid us whenever your hand happens to touch the handle. Hey, settle down. Ramus is doing his best. Is it that obvious? Maybe it's more obvious to me, since I took an interest in you. Just try to relax a bit. Look. He stood up in front of me and took a relaxed stance with one foot slightly forward and out and leaning on his other foot. I'm calm, and my body shows it. If you're too stiff like this. He tightened up his posture. It's obvious I'm nervous or ready to act. Then he loosened up again. That tells people you're thinking too much about your movements. If there's no reason for it, people will think you're faking it. Worse yet, they may think you're on edge or about to lash out, so just try to relax. I can teach you a little bit about wielding a sword if you want. I can't. The sword is broken in half. You can still do a few things with it, even if it's no longer than a knife. If Weymouth ever needs the help, I'll teach him. Oh, how good are you with a blade? I'm a watchman. What do you think? Not sure what to think. I've never fought one before, so how good are you? You almost got to see it last night. Everyone chuckled and sprawled away, grasping the hilt of his blade. Care to show me? I've never sparred with a watchman before. Jim saw flash a dangerous smirk. I'd be right happy to. Both of them were a bit too eager, especially after everything that happened. Yesterday it made me worry. They aren't going to kill each other, are they? No, that would be a silly thought. I hope it's a silly thought. Should I even say anything? Doubt coiled around my heart, but I couldn't bring myself to protest. As I followed them into a small glade away from the rest of the caravan, they were already locking eyes onto one another, and their movements were in tandem. Mercy, please don't let anything bad happen. Does the Watts even spar with Pervaders? Not a lot of Pervaders like to carry swords. So you never fought against a dancer? Jimsaw jerked his head towards his opponent. You're a dancer? Both of them brandished their swords, holding them out in front of and ready to act. Everyone seemed a lot more loose and playful compared to Jimsaw's stiffer, more disciplined stance, at least from what I could tell. In a flash, everyone charges forwards and starts slashing at Jim. All the blows were parried, though Jim was forced to move back. After a few strikes, everyone leaped back again, allowing them room to breathe. Your magic won't help, you know? That's why I learned how to fight with steel. They circled around each other. Slowly, I thought Jim would be more aggressive, but he's holding back. Everyone suddenly leaped again. He made to strike at Jim's left, but then turned his blade around to the other side. With a feint and managed to knock his sword away, launching into his own series of attacks. Everyone stumbled back as he defended. After the fifth strike, he regained his composure and put his entire strength into the block. Their blades crossed and locked against each other, putting them in a stalemate. Hey, you're pretty good. You're not so bad yourself. The wolf blew into Jim's face, making him flinch, releasing them from their clasp. Seizing the moment, he hooked his leg behind Jim's and pushed him down. Watch out! As Jim crashed to the ground, he rolled over and managed to swing his sword just in time to divert everyone's downward strike. My heart was beating fast. I can't tell if they were being reckless or outright trying to kill each other. Everyone abandoned his assault and allowed Jimsaw to stand up. Hey, Weymouth, what do you think? Who's winning? I think you guys need to calm down. But we've barely done anything yet. Don't worry, Weymouth. I'll wipe that smug off his face. This time, Jim was at everyone, though the wolf managed to dash away just in time. Moments later, they repeated their dance of avoidance. Jim kept trying to engage, but the wolf wouldn't let him. Jim, he's trying to rile you up and make you drop your defenses. Don't let him. Their fruitless chase became like a storm without lightning. Sooner or later, there will be a flash. And if they're not careful, either of them might end up losing an eye or a limb. Suddenly, I saw everyone commit to a different move. After dodging the last of Jimsaw's blows, he leaped back. Then he leaped back once again, and then another. Now they were at least 20 feet apart, and both of them were breathing heavily. When everyone took a stand at the other end of the clearing, I recognized the shift in his weight. He held his sword stiffer than before, and his eyes grew wide with attention. Jimsaw saw it too, adjusted his own stance, and bringing his sword forwards in response. I didn't know what was about to happen, but I could tell that both of them were braced for it. The air itself seemed to stifle in anticipation. My heartbeat sent echoes throughout my body, threatening to distract me from the scene that was about to unfold. I feared that if I blinked, I would miss it. I couldn't even process it at first. One moment they were at opposite ends of the clearing, the next they were at arm's length from each other. For a brief instant, I thought it was all a dream. No man can move this fast. Everyone has surged forwards at a speed that was not real, as if he had turned into lightning. Somehow Jim had spotted the move. His sword had caught everyone's in the attack, though it came so fast and so hard that it disarmed him. Both of them stumbled away from each other. Ah, hell. Fair enough. Before they could regain their footing, I was ahead and placed myself between them. Mercy, what is wrong with you? Everyone's eyes appeared haunted when he turned to look at me. Then he shook his head out of that strange stupor, returning to his normal self. Oh, sorry. I hope I didn't injure you. I'm fine, don't worry. Jim went to pick up his blade and stood alongside me. I was surprised to see him so calm and collected, especially knowing how jittery he could be around pervaders of magic. If someone rushed at me like that, I would have said they were trying to kill me, yet he doesn't seem phased at all. What the hell just happened? I almost had you there. Indeed, when I got close, I wasn't sure how I'll carry out the strike. Boy, fighting Watchmen is hard work. I'll tell you. Glad I didn't disappoint. How did you move like that? Everyone winked at me. Trade secret, he chuckled. I kid. It's my skill as Pervader of the Feather and dancer. Remember when I showed you my sigil? He removed his glove and flashed it again. Pardon me, I forgot you're still new at this. The function is called whisk and wine, and what you saw in that friendly spar was whisk. It's a trend that allows me to be more graceful and quick. Comes in really handy in fights like these. That wasn't just quick, that was unreal. As is all magic, you get used to it. How come it works in Jim's presence? Shouldn't the magic be broken? It does break when he gets near. If it didn't, I would never be able to parry it. Thanks for showing me, though. I've never seen a dancer move before. My bless her, though pray you never see it again. There are users of whisk far crueler than me out there, and if they want to kill you, they'll put more effort into it. The unease from earlier had begun to fade, but it was still heavy in my heart. I couldn't believe what I'd seen, or that Jim would be okay with it. In the end, I guess Jim might not be as averse to magic as I thought, or maybe he's starting to be more accepting. Ramus, you shouldn't dwell on this. This journey is forcing us all to adapt. Once this is all over, he might return to his old self, alas. Eventually, we were all back together on the road. The rest of the day was uneventful. All three of us were much more comfortable with each other, sharing stories, offering advice, and breaking bread together. As we arrived at the fork in the road, and as the sun went down and everyone crawled under their tents for the night, I went to sleep thinking about Evelyn. Although we had known each other for only a short while, I felt as if I had known him all my life. He reminds me a lot of my older brothers and how they too left home to seek their fortunes elsewhere. I understood his soul, and I feel a strange kinship towards him. The same force that animates him also ushered me to this land. We are alike. Our lives are moving too fast and in different directions, otherwise I could have enjoyed his company more. Although Jim never said it, part of him held the same beliefs. Despite the arrival of morning, it was as if no time had passed at all, and now we would have to say goodbye. Well, this is it. As Lazo and the others packed up their tents and ready for the road, Jim and I followed Evelyn one last time. Stay safe. What's the fun in that, eh? Too much fun will get you killed, and too much causes poison for the soul. There's no winning, is there? Every path eventually leads to failure, but some failures are more graceful than others. Don't listen to him, Ramus, or you'll become just as mad as he is. Nay, it's wisdom heeded. He chuckled. Good luck. Thank you, brother. Good luck to see you as well. Good luck to you as well. If circumstances were different, I might have joined you. Our last uncle was likely after my head for what I did, and I need to get far away from this land. Don't worry, we'll take him down knots for you. Give him hell, brother. The three of us waved at each other as we turned to walk our different paths. I looked back from time to time, glancing to see if they had disappeared beyond the thicket. Then there was no sign. Then there was no more sign of Everwind. We walked, absent-mindedly, perhaps. The road was straight and empty, and the sky was starting to clear up. Before I even knew it, we were already close to our destination. Wow, is that it? Yep, Tenderhorn. Can't believe we're finally here. You know what we have to do, right? Yeah. Ellen, wherever you are, I hope you're ready to come back. I grabbed the thing around my neck and walked towards an open patch of grass. It's time that you came back. You've been gone for too long, too long. The Bible shatters under my boot and I step away. Now what? We wait. A minute passed and there was still no sign of Alan or any magical flicker. What if he doesn't come back? Don't say that. Another minute of silence. Wait a minute, what if he doesn't come back? I glared at him for a while and allowed me to soak in his concerned face. I don't want to think about it. Maybe we should. Look, I'm sorry, I don't mean to say he won't show up now. It probably takes a while to get that portal thing ready and for Alan to pack up his stuff, and he'll be here soon. But one of these days he might not. Maybe the three of us won't be together forever. He or I might not make it, or we'll get separated again, or there might not be enough time for all of us to come back together. What's the point? He sighed. You should always have a backup plan. If someone can't keep going forwards, then at some point you have to put us on the head. We're not leaving Alan behind. That's not what I'm saying, Ramus. If you're the only one left, what are you going to do? Even if Alan or I aren't able to keep going, you still have a duty to survive. Sometimes that means you need to prepare for the worst and figure out a way to move forwards without the rest of us. We put too much effort into this for it to go to waste because we couldn't plan ahead, and I hate it if anything happened to you because of it. As his words trailed off, the faint sorceress of a spell replaced the center of my attention. I turned and saw a bright flash appear above the shattered glass of the Bible, emerging into a paler light, was then split in two like an open wound. Soon after, Alan sailed through the portal, stumbling for balance as his feet adjusted to a place new to him. Alan, I was to meet the old bear as he welcomed me with a hug. Raymond Sensor, you're all right, thank mercy. Did you encounter any trouble on the road? Nothing we couldn't handle. The brilliant doorway began to shut close again. Withdrawing his magic, Alan turned to watch it fade away. How was it? Not too fruitful, I'm afraid. That dagger was indeed a dud. He and Jim's glanced at each other. You're right, lady. Our goals lies within Arbor. But I'm happy you're finally turning around on that. Alan looked around left and right, spotted the town on the hill. So that's Center Hall. We only just arrived. Then we should go on and find a place to stay. Might be here for a few days. I'll tell you more about what I've learned once we're settled and have had a chance to sit down, good? Fair enough. I nodded and then we were off. The three of us followed the road along the river, walking past a few houses on the outskirts. There were people at work in the farms surrounding the hill, cutting logs and attending to their land, but the road was otherwise empty. Our only welcome was a soothing breeze. Was there any sign of Umbro or the Inquisition? Nothing on the road. It's been fairly quiet, though, since I glanced at each other. Alan, there's a bounty on our heads. Yes, you heard of it too? What are we going to about? Keep a low profile. We're lucky that Jimstar isn't on their list. They definitely want me back. The Watch never lets anyone leave like that. I believe you, but you still have an easier time walking around compared to Raymond and me. Although there weren't a lot of good people around, we decided not to speak further until we had a private place to talk. I guess I'm gonna stop here. Okay, so the part where we picked to go with Jim Saw, that turned out to be a lot shorter than when we went with Alan. When we went with Alan, that was like 2 videos, but this one I was able to do it in 1 video. So we got to meet Everwind, and he was very helpful. He warned Ramus that he was wanted in Chariot by the Inquisition, that there was wanted posters of him in Alan. And he himself, Everwind, he used to be a member of Umbro up until a few days ago, but he left because he believes there's a lot of madness going on with Umbro and what they're doing. And they're probably after him right now, so he's trying to go as far south as possible. And so we got to learn a lot more about Umbro from everyone and what they're doing. And we got to see both Everwind and Jim Saw show off their skills at, when it comes to the sword, with them fighting, using their swords to fight, and both of them were pretty good. Everyone uses his skills as a Pervader himself. He uses his skills with magic to be a better swordsman, and Jim Saw, with the knowledge he gained from the Watch, helping him to be a better swordsman. Okay, so we completed both choices for Alan and Jim Saw, so we're back to where we were when we finished Alan. So we're done with both choices for now, so we're gonna go to Tender Hall and see what happens here. So thank y'all very much for watching. Goodbye.